Video up here.
Got it?
Good morning.
Good
morning. Like that. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge. Here we are.
Yeah. Well, huh?
All right, we got screen full this morning. Okay, Chambers County Probate Court come to order. You got a clerk on?
Judge, we can't see you.
Oh, you can't?
No, sir.
It's because my video's off. I
There
clicked
you
on it.
are.
Hey. Okay.
I still,
Those of you that are going to testify this morning, if you'll raise your right hand, please. Christy, go ahead.
do you swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. All right, cause number 23, CPR 0011, the state of James Dominic Miller. Mr. McCall, Mr. Dawson, good morning. Mr. McCall on? Okay. We'll skip
I don't
over
see
that.
either one.
All right, I don't either. So let's go down to cause number 27, the state of Luis de la Garza.
We're present on that, Your Honor. Philip Campa representing the applicant.
All right, you may proceed, Counselor.
All right, good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I have the applicant present. Would you like for me to prove it up or would you like me to call the applicant?
Either way you'd like to do it, it's fine.
All right, Your Honor, I'm going to go ahead and testify on behalf of the applicant.
That'll work.
My name is Philip Campa. I represent the applicant, Amelia de la Garza. She's asking the court to probate Luis de la Garza, deceased, who died on about February 3rd, 2023. 4 years have not elapsed since the date of descendant's death before filing this probate action. The decedent was a resident and had a domicile at the time of his death at 2021 Carolyn Trail, Anahuac, Texas, in Chambers County. The document now shown to me is the last will and testament, and it was filed with the court on April 13, 2023. All the information I have, the will was never revoked. It is in the court's possession. The will was made self-proving according to law. I do recognize the decedent's signature. No children were born or adopted after decedent's date of will. Decedent was married. No state governmental agency or charitable organization is named as devotee under the will. This is not a taxable estate. The decedent did not receive any Medicaid benefits after March 1st, 2005. Citation has been served and returned in the matter, and asked the court take judicial notice of the return on file. His mother, Amelia de la Garza, decedent's mother, is named the independent executrix of the will to serve without bond. We're asking that appraisers be waived. She's not disqualified by law from accepting any letters or testamentary. We're asking the court to approve the order probating the will that has been filed with the court also on April 13, 2023.
All right, hereby admit the will of probate and grant letters of testamentary. Thank you, Counselor.
Your Honor, would you like for us to stick around to swear in the executor, or we can do that later, or I can do it here in the office with the notary?
Yeah, you can do that at the office. Be fine.
Okay, are we excused, Your Honor?
Here you are. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
All right, cause number 23, CPR 0031, the state of Richard Lamont.
Yes, sir. We're ready, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Okay, I'll call Teresa Lamance, Your Honor. You're Teresa Lamance, is
Yes.
that true? Ms. Lamance, you're here today regarding the estate of your late husband, Richard Lamance, is that true?
Yes.
And I understand Mr. Lamance passed away on or about June 22nd of last year, 2022 in Winnie, Chambers County, Texas, is that true?
Yes.
Mr. Lamance was 64 years of age, and of course, 4 years have not elapsed since his passing, is that true?
Yes.
We believe that Chambers County Probate Court is a proper jurisdiction and venue because Mr. Lamance resided in Chambers County at the time of his passing. Is that true?
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, Mr. Lamance died testate. That's to say that he had a last will and testament. It was signed February 11th, 2022. and we filed the original document with the court. Is that true?
Yes.
And you've reviewed the document, and do you recognize your husband's signature on page 10, the last page of the will, and again on page 12, the attached self-proving affidavit?
Yes.
We believe the citation has been served and returned in the manner and length of time provided by the Texas Estates Code. Is that true?
Yes.
There is a need for a necessity for the administration of Mr. Lamance's estate. Is that true?
Yes.
We believe the will was self-proved. Is that true?
Yes.
And never revoked. Is that true?
Yes.
The will doesn't name any state or governmental entity or organization as a devotee. Is that true?
Yes.
After the date of the will, Mr. Lamance did not father or adopt any children. Is that true?
Yes.
And he was married to you at the time of his passing. Is that true?
Yes.
And so the will serves you to names you to serve as the independent executor of his estate. Is that true?
Yes.
And there's no reason why you shouldn't serve. You're never been convicted of a felony and don't have any interest adverse to your husband's estate or anything like that. Is that true?
Yes.
We're about to ask you to sign a proof of death and other facts and an oath, and you've reviewed those documents prior to our hearing. Is that true?
Yes.
And you're going to sign those. We'll get those over to Judge Sylvia, and we're asking him to admit your husband's will to probate and appoint you as the independent executor of his estate. And you assure the court you'll take care of your husband's affairs to the very best of your ability. Is that true? Judge, that's all we have unless you need anything further.
No, sir. Everybody admits the will to probate and authorize letters. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you so much, Judge. May we be excused?
Maybe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That's gonna-
All right, cause number 33, the state of Mary Sue Jenkins.
Yes, Your Honor. This is Joe Broussard. I have with me John W. Jenkins, who will be my witness this morning.
Yeah, I don't think I saw you a while ago, but can't see you any longer.
All
Is your
right.
video off?
Let me get my video going again.
There
We
you
got
go.
blocked off. Okay.
Not that I wanted to look at John, but,
Oh, come on, Judge.
and don't
All
tell
right.
me he's a good moral character either. I know him too well.
I'm gonna see you Saturday night.
All right, you may proceed, Counselor.
Very good. John, is it correct that your mother, Mary Sue Jenkins, died on January 30 in Hancomer, Chambers County at the age of 91 years of age?
Yes,
And was she domiciled with a fixed place of residence in this county at the time of her date of death?
yes,
The document which we have provided to the court is dated May 25, 1999, and it purports to be her will. Actually, it purports to be a copy of her will. But my question to you is, to the best of your knowledge, did she ever revoke that instrument?
no,
Is there a necessity for the administration of this estate?
yes,
And is it correct that she had 3 children at the time the will was executed, and no other children had been born to her or adopted by her after the date of the will?
yes,
And is it also correct that she was not married at the time of her death due to her father's prior passing, and there was no marriages dissolved after the date of this will?
mhm,
Is it also correct that the will did not name the state, a governmental agency of the state, or a charitable organization as a devotee?
that's correct.
And finally, is it correct that you were named as independent executor to serve in the event that your father was not able to do so, and that you are not disqualified by law from accepting letters testamentary?
Yes,
Your Honor, that's all the testimony I have from John. I would like to be a witness myself, as I was the original notary on the instrument. And
Okay. Did
we're
you,
talk-
we swear you in a while ago, Counselor?
No, you did not.
Well, if you'll raise your hand, we'll do that now.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
I do.
And you may proceed.
My name is Joe Broussard. I'm an attorney licensed with the state of Texas. I was on May 25, 1999. I was with Mary Sue Jenkins, and in my presence, she showed me the document that we now have before us in this proceeding. She published it and declared to me that it was her will, that at that time she was over the age of 18 and of sound mind. I also witnessed and notarized the signatures Brandy Clark and Darlene Brantley at that same time, who were my legal assistant and my secretary respectively, both signed in my presence and at the request of Mary Sue Jenkins. And of course, they were both over the age of 14. And Your Honor, I've got an affidavit that I will sign to that effect, reflecting that testimony.
Okay. Thank you, Counselor. Anything else?
That's all I've got, Your Honor.
All right. Everybody admit the will of probate and authorize the letter. Thank you so much. Don, y'all take care.
All right. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Yes, sir. You too. Cause number 35, the state of Robert Eugene Harvey. Mr.
Yes, good morning, Judge.
Dennis, good morning. You may proceed, Counselor.
Thank you. Mr. Harvey, please state your full name for the record.
Justin Tyler Harvey.
And are you the son of the decedent?
Yes.
And did he have a will dated January 26, 2021?
Yes.
And 4 years have not elapsed since his death and the probating of this will?
4 years haven't elapsed.
Since he died and we probated?
No.
Okay. And he lived in Chambers County when he died?
Yes.
Okay. To your knowledge, did he ever revoke his will?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay. Did he have any children born or adopted by him after the date of the will?
No.
At the time of the execution of the will, do you think he was a sound mind? He was competent to make a will? Okay. Did he have any marriages dissolve after making that will?
No.
Was the state of Texas a devisee or a charity under that will?
No.
Now, there is a necessity for the administration of the estate, correct?
Yes.
And the will appointed you and his sister, Sheila Sapp, as co-executors, correct?
Yes.
And you're asking the court to appoint you both as independent co-executors.
Yes.
Is there any reason why you or Mrs. Sapp is disqualified, you have a felony, or have any adverse interest? And you're asking that the appraisers be waived and that there be no bond?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Judge.
That's so done. Everybody admit the will of probate and authorize letters. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Maybe. Have a good
Thank
day.
you. You too.
Cause number 37, the state of Mary Eccles Stewart.
We're here, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
My witness is here as well, but I think her video is having trouble working. She's the 512 number.
I see that.
Mary Catherine, are you on?
You're muted, ma'am. And maybe you need to turn your video on also.
Unmute. And now I don't know about the video. I can see you.
Okay,
And-
down in, you should have what looks like a camera. It's got a red X through it, a red line through it. If you'll click on it.
Okay, this is what I see on my screen. I see like at the top, it says, well, that's ridiculous, safe driving mode. And then the option to leave, I see done speaking in an orange circle. It says your microphone is unmuted and your video is stopped. And then I see 3 buttons at the bottom, but they don't allow me to do anything. Are you there?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. And sorry, I'm not that.
No,
technical.
Lord, my grandchildren aren't here.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna.
Oh, wait, can you see me? I can see myself now.
Oh, we can see you now. I was just fixing to click you off.
I don't know. Okay, that was
All
part of
right,
it.
so if you'll raise your right hand so we can swear you in, ma'am.
Yes,
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down, Counselor. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mary Catherine, will you please state your name for the court?
Mary Catherine Stewart Butler.
Thank you. Is it true that Mary Eccles Stewart was your mother?
Yes,
Is it true that she died on August 5th, 2022 in Baytown at the age of 93 years and 4 years has not elapsed since the date of her death?
yes,
Is it true that her domicile and her fixed place of residence before her death was at 10408 Ocean Drive in Chambers County with you, actually.
Yeah, that's exactly where we were. Yes,
Thank you. And it's true that so far as you know or believe, she passed without having revoked the last will and testament dated June 13th, 2014 that we're offering for probate hearing.
yes,
Great. Is it true that a necessity exists for the administration of this estate?
yes,
Is it true that no child or children were born to your mother after the date of that will?
correct. Yes,
Wonderful. Is it true that she was not divorced after the date of that will?
she was not.
Is it true that neither a charitable organization nor the state of Texas or any other governmental entity is named in the will as a beneficiary?
Yes,
And finally, is it true that the independent co-executors named in the will, who are you, your brother Duncan Winston Stewart, Douglas Eccles Stewart, and your sister Susan Elaine Stewart, are qualified to accept letters testamentary, and you would like to do that?
yes,
Wonderful. Your Honor, this is also a non-taxable estate, and we seek to have appraisers waived.
Okay, so done. Anything else, Counselor?
That's all, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, everybody admits a little probate and authorize letters. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
thank
Have a good
you.
day.
Okay.
Best.
All right, calls number 38, State of Tony Bates Clinton. Miss Clapper, good morning.
Is your name Jackie Elaine Clinton?
Yes.
And were you the wife of Tony Bates Clinton at the time of his death, this February 4th of 1923?
Yes.
And you both were residents of Chambers County, Texas. He for more than 30 years in Chambers County.
Yes.
Prior to his death. And the address that you lived at was 634 Hall Street?
Yes.
Oak Island, but if you send a mail, it goes to Atlanta.
Yes.
At the time of his death, did he have any children whatsoever during any marriages of the 4 marriages of his last name?
No.
And did he ever adopt a child?
No.
Or take a child into his residence to raise?
No.
You are his 4th wife?
Yes.
And the first wife was Martha Elizabeth Henderson Clinton, and they divorced in Chambers County in 344th District Court in 1992.
Yes.
And there's no child born to of that marriage.
No.
Or adopted. The second marriage was to Vivian L. Clinton. There was a divorce in Chambers County in 1997 in the 344th. And was there any child born to or adopted during that marriage?
No.
And then your marriage was June 13th.
There's Sherry. Sherry is 31.
Oh, Sherry was divorced in 2013 in the 344th District Court, and there's no child born to or adopted.
No.
So now we're to the best
Now we're to the
of them all. And that was to you on July 5th of 2018.
Yes.
And has there been a child born to or adopted during this marriage?
No.
All right. So in January the 18th of 2023, you came to my office.
Yes.
And Tony prepared a will knowing that he had pancreatic cancer and his time was very short.
Yes.
And the will, and I have it in front of you, do you recognize that as his signature?
Yes.
And you see that it's notarized by myself and Rob Clapper. Notarized by Cynthia Clark and witnessed by Rob and I.
Yes.
Because it was critical to get it done.
Yes.
All right. And after this date, you didn't divorce.
No.
No children were born to you, and there's no one else in front of the court than you. You're designated as the independent executrix of the will.
Yes.
You're willing to do that work for Tony?
Yes.
He didn't revoke it after his death. After the signing of the will and before his death.
No.
All right. Now, the will does not designate any charity, governmental, or any other governmental entity as a devotee. You're the only devotee, correct?
Yes.
All right. And you're willing to assume that responsibility. There's no criminal prosecution of you or conviction that would prohibit you from taking the letters testamentary?
No.
This is a non-taxable estate, and you're asking the court to waive appraisers.
Yes.
And of course, 4 years has not passed since his death.
No.
All right. And so, Judge, we're asking you to admit the will to probate and to issue letters testimony.
So done. Thank you, ma'am.
Have a wonderful day.
You ladies have a good day too.
Thank you.
All right, cause number 39, the state of Daniel Joseph Baggett. Good morning, Mr. Fuller.
Good morning, Judge. I'll be testifying, and I've
You
been
may
sworn. Your Honor, the decedent Daniel Joseph Baggett was a close friend of mine for many years. He died on March the 2nd, 2023 in Harris County, Texas at the age of 75 years. Obviously, 4 years have not elapsed since the date of his death. At the time of his death, he was a resident and domiciled in Chambers County. The original will is dated April 24th, 1997, which has been filed with the court. To my knowledge, that will has never been revoked. There were no children born or adopted after the execution of the will. There is a need for an administration of his estate. The decedent did not have a marriage that was dissolved after the execution of the will. The will names the surviving spouse, Deborah Jo Cobb Baggett, to serve as independent executor, and to my knowledge, she's not disqualified and qualified to serve. The will does not name the state, governmental agency of the state, or a charitable organization as a devotee. It's a non-taxable estate. We'd ask the court to waive the appraisers and admit the will to probate.
Admit the will to probate and authorize testamentary.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Judge, this is Marangeli. We have Mr. Dawson in the Zoom now.
Okay, so what about Mr. McCall? He's here on cause number 11, correct?
Yes, I'm not sure if Mr. McCall was going to participate. Maybe Mr. Dawson can help us.
Dick Dawson, I'm the attorney ad litem.
Right, and cause number 11.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. McCall is not on. I don't know. Has anybody talked to him?
I talked to him. I talked to his office a few minutes ago. I'll give him another call, Judge.
Okay, do that if you don't mind. We'll proceed with that.
Sure.
All right, calls number 23, CPR 0024, the state of John Rennie. Mr. Penny, good morning.
Mark Penny here for Jan Rennie.
Good morning, sir. And you may proceed, Counselor.
All right. I would first call Paula Lisgany. Paula, were you personally present with Mr. Rennie, Thomas Murphy, and Barbara O'Connor when he signed his will in your presence?
Yes.
Did he declare to you that that was his last will and testament, and he had freely and willingly made that will, and that he wished you to witness its execution?
Yes.
At the time of the execution, was he above the age of 18 and of sound mind?
Yes.
The other witnesses present on that day with yourself, were you guys all over the age of 14?
Yes.
Do you recognize the document now shown to you dated April 7, 2009 as the witness, the document that you witnessed that day?
Yes, I do.
And do you recognize the signatures on the will as those of Thomas Murphy and Barbara O'Connor and John Rennie?
Yes, I do.
And you recognize your own signature, correct?
Yes.
All right, I'll pass that witness. Can you go ahead and switch?
No, Counsel. No questions, Counsel. Call your next witness.
All right. The next witness who's already been sworn is June Rennie. Miss Rennie, did John William Rennie die on November 30th, 2022 in Harris County at the age of 72 years old?
Yes.
4 years have not elapsed since that date. Is that correct?
Yes.
This court has jurisdiction and venue over the estate because Mr. Rennie was domiciled and had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County, Texas at the time of his death.
Yes.
He died with a will, and that will was signed on April 7th, 2009.
Yes.
Do you recognize the will that we filed with the court to be the original will that he signed?
Yes.
Citation has been served and returned in a manner for the length required by the probate code. Is that correct?
Yes,
And a necessity exists for the administration of this estate. Is that correct?
yes,
To the best of your knowledge, was the will filed for probate ever revoked by Mr. Rennie?
yes.
Did he revoke his will, or did he not revoke it?
No,
He did not revoke his will.
no,
No government, agency, state, or charitable organization was named by the will as a devisee. Is that correct?
yes,
After the date of the will, were any children born or adopted by Mr. Rennie?
no,
Is it true that no marriage of Mr. Rennie was ever dissolved after the will was made, either by divorce annulment or declaration the marriage was void?
No.
He wasn't divorced,
No.
correct?
no,
All right. Did Mr. Rennie apply for or receive Medicaid benefits on or after March 1st, 2005?
No.
All right. And Mr. Rennie's will named no executor, is that correct?
yes,
And the distributees, which are you, have agreed that you will serve as independent executor of the will without bond, and that no action should be taken by this court other than the probating of the will and filing of an inventory, appraisement, and list of claims. Is that correct?
yes,
And you're also asking that appraisals and bond be waived. Is that correct?
yes,
And to the best of your knowledge, has all the proof been made to probate the will? Yes. And are you disqualified from accepting letters testamentary? No. All right. That's all we have, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Counselor. Okay, I have a note here on my docket that the will's being contested by the Mary Carson. Is that you, Mary Kay?
Yes, sir.
Have you filed a contest?
We are in the process of retaining counsel. Our previous counsel had to step away from the case, and so we're in the process of retaining new counsel and would ask for this to be postponed.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Counselor.
Judge, I would just reiterate that Texas Probate Code 256-204 gives her 2 years after the date that the will is admitted to probate to contest the will. She hasn't made an appearance in this case, and so we'd object to postponing things.
Okay, I'm hereby admit the will of probate and authorize letters of testamentary. And ma'am, you do still have time to contest the will.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a good day. All right, I see Mr. McCall's on. Or I did see him. Oh, there he is. All right, back to calls number 11, the state of James Dominique Miller. Those of you that are going to testify, raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
Okay, you put your hand down. You may proceed, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your name is Deborah Clark, is that correct?
correct,
And your brother was James Dominique Miller,
yes,
and he passed away on October 2nd of 2022.
correct,
And he didn't have a written will or anything.
no, sir,
He had his fixed place of residence in Chambers County when he passed away.
yes,
And you filed an application to determine heirship in his
Yes.
estate. He never married, did he?
no, sir,
He never had any children.
no, sir,
He never adopted any children.
no, sir,
And both of y'all's parents were deceased.
correct,
And his only heirs are the 4 siblings
yes,
that are still living. And you're asking that the court approve your application to determine heirship and sign a judgment to the effect that your siblings are the only heirs to his estate.
yes,
You've also gotten approval from your siblings to be named as the independent administrator of his estate. Is that
Yes, sir.
correct? And they've all signed waivers that have been filed with the court. Is that
Yes, sir.
correct? And you're also asking that the judge approve your application to be the independent administrator of his estate.
yes.
Okay, that's all the questions I have of this witness. Your Honor, I've got these 2 witnesses for the affidavit of heirship.
All right, so we'll pass the witness, Mr. Dawson.
Thank you. Good morning, Deborah. This is Dick Dawson here. You're here to be appointed independent administrator of your brother's will. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what was the full name of your brother, please?
James Dominic Miller,
And what was his date of death?
October the 2nd, 2022.
And was he a resident of Chambers County?
Yes, sir.
Did he have a spouse at the time of his death?
No, sir.
Did he ever take, hopefully a female in as his wife?
No, sir.
Okay, he never had a girlfriend that he represented as his wife. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And did he have any children, born or adopted?
No, sir.
Did he ever mention that he had any children?
No, sir.
What efforts, if any, did you make to look for a will or a testamentary document?
I had asked him if he had one, and he was actually in the process of starting to get one before he got sick. He hadn't talked to anybody, but I told him that he needed to get one, but he did not have one. I'm a signer on a safe deposit box. There's not one in the safe deposit box. There was not one in the home.
What does his estate consist of consequence?
He's got a 401k valued at probably about $55,000 that he wanted distributed to his nieces and nephews.
I see. And now, Miss Deborah Clark, Miss Deborah, have you ever been convicted of any criminal offense other than maybe traffic tickets?
No, sir.
Okay, and you're asking the court to be appointed independent administrator of your brother's estate, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you're asking that the court waive any bond, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And let's see here. And who are the two witnesses that are called to substantiate whether or not he had any kids, his marital history? What are their names?
Betty Lindsay and Lee Jordan.
Okay.
Deborah Lee Jordan.
Okay. And how many were his parents deceased?
Yes, both of them were deceased.
And that would be your mom and dad as well, is that correct?
Correct.
And how many children are there? How many siblings are there, I should say?
4.
Was there ever any more than 4 siblings?
No, sir.
Okay. What are the first names of the siblings, please?
Myself, Kyle, Pamela, and Wilbur.
Okay. I'm sorry for your loss, ma'am. I pass a witness.
All right, call your next witness, Counselor.
Okay, your name is Betty Lindsay.
That is correct.
And you're Lee Jordan, is that correct?
Yes.
And y'all were both familiar with the marital and family history of
Yes.
James Miller, is that correct?
Yes.
And y'all heard all the testimony of Ms. Miller. Do y'all agree with all that testimony?
Yes.
And we've prepared affidavits of heirship for James's life and history, okay? Y'all had an opportunity to review those affidavits? Is that correct?
Yes.
And all this information is true and correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that's all I have, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Dawson.
Betty Lindsay. Would you raise your right hand, please? Okay, all right, Miss Lindsay. My name is Dawson, Dick Dawson. How long did you know James Miller? How long did you know him?
Most of my life.
Okay. Did you know his mom and his dad?
I did.
Okay. And how many brothers and sisters did he have?
4.
Do you know their first names only, please?
Wilbert, Kyle, Tam, and Deborah.
Were there any other siblings?
No, sir.
Now that's Deborah sitting to your left, and you understand that she's asked to be appointed administrator of the estate. Do you know of any reason why she may not be qualified?
No, sir, not at all.
So is it your opinion she's well qualified to be an administrator? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you know if she's ever been convicted of any criminal offense other than maybe traffic tickets?
No, she has not.
Have you been promised anything by way of compensation or otherwise?
No, sir.
Okay. And do you know if the decedent James had any children? Born
He
or
did not.
adopted?
He did not.
Okay. At the time of his death, was he a married or a single person?
Single.
Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you.
All right, nothing else, Mr. Dawson?
Miss Jordan, Deborah Jordan, you heard all my questions to Miss Lindsay, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Would your testimony be any different if I asked you the same questions?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Pass the witness.
Right, nothing else, Mr. Call?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Judge,
Okay.
I think we agreed on ad litem fees.
Yeah, I got an order for $600 ad litem fees.
We don't have any problem with that, Your Honor. I'll send him a check.
Okay, and Mr. Dawson, you agree with the judgment declaring heirship?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay, so I have two of them, Mr. Call. One of them was filed on February the 3rd. The other one was filed on April 14th. I assume it's April 14th.
The April 14th judgment, Your Honor, has Mr. Dawson's signature on it.
I saw that. That's the only difference. So
Right.
that's the one we're going. That's the
Yes,
one we're going to
yes,
use.
Yes,
And
Your
I'm
Honor.
going to approve the judgment declaring heirship. I do have a question about the bond, though. No bond. There was testimony there. How much was it? 55,000 in a 401k.
All the siblings who signed waivers and consents then agreed that there should be no bond posted, Your Honor. That's what we requested, that bond be waived.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. Mr. Dawson,
Judge,
you agree?
Judge, if it please the court, the consents from all the siblings clearly waive bond and ask that no bond be required. And also the estate code makes provision for that. So I agree that there should be no bond. I have the utmost faith in Deborah as administrator to serve faithfully and with integrity.
Okay, hereby grant independent administration authorized letters.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a good day.
Good day. Thank you all. Have a good week.
Mr. Wilson, can you hear me?
Yes, I was just watching.
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure if you needed us.
No, not at all. I was just catching the end of it.
Oh, okay.
Are y'all done? Well, there you go.
Yes, sir. We just finished.